Welcome back to Healthy with Nicole. In today's video, I wanted to talk about how cardio and caloric restriction could be sabotaging your weight loss. So many people go to right away for weight loss. I'm gonna slash my calories and up my cardio. So while that does work, it is usually temporary. So what happens is we are burning more calories than we're eating, and we are then restricting our caloric intake. So we have a larger deficit. And yes, we do need that deficit for weight loss, but I found that for me, when I would do that too much, one, I would become more fatigued from the cardio and I would be hungrier. And then by restricting the calories for a long period of time, eventually my weight loss would just have stopped. And I see a lot of people, a lot of my clients that are coming to me because they have been stuck at a spot where they can't lose weight anymore and they're eating a really low calorie diet already. So it's not uncommon for people to actually track their intake and find out they're only eating about 12 to 1400 calories, yet they're holding on to body weight and body fat. So what happens is we restrict ourselves so much that we kind of throw some things off in our body. One, your body will always adapt to wherever whatever you give it in a matter of time. So if you're going to be using the excessive cardio and caloric restriction to lose weight, you have to take breaks from that because your body will eventually adapt and you'll get stuck right there. And then you'll be stuck in this really low caloric consumption, which is not a really fun place to live, right? And if you're doing a lot of cardio, now you're stuck in that space too, which can be exhausting, can be stressful on the body, can do a lot of damage to your body if you're not doing the right kind of activities, and can also be draining on your adrenals because you're constantly making all the stress hormones. So for me, I'm not a fan of cardio. I do very, very little cardio, mostly just walking. But I'm very active, and instead I focus on weight training for my activities. So Pilates, body weights, and even some heavier weights sometimes. And then on the consumption side, you should definitely vary your caloric intake. So if you're trying to lose weight, bring yourself into a caloric deficit until you start to get that momentum. When you get to a place where you're happy, if it's not more than 2 months or so on caloric restriction, then take a break from that and have some normal higher caloric intake days. So this doesn't mean binge, right? You don't want to go up to like 4,000 calories a day. It just means a couple hundred calories more, enough so that you're maybe slightly out of your deficit. So you're more in a maintenance zone. So a good rule of thumb would be find out where you are, what you need to maintain every day. So you can track your intake for about a week and then see if your weight is stable. If it's stable, then for the time period, say 6 to 8 weeks, that you want to focus on weight loss or cutting, then you're shaving off maybe 200, 250 calories a day at the most. So you can do that through a little bit of exercise, weight training, caloric restriction. So you don't want to go too extreme. And then at the end of that time, you should see some weight loss. And so then you would go back to a maintenance period for a little while. So the point is to vary your intake. If you sit and stay in a strong caloric deficit and on top of that, you're exercising and you do that for too long, the body will adapt. It can mess up your appetite hormones, leptin and ghrelin. It'll make you hungry all the time and stuck at a plateau. So if you're gonna do this, just make sure you vary it and take breaks from the cardio and the training. So the body is not a machine, right? We got to give it a break, got to feed it properly. And if you're trying to grow muscle, you need to have more calories than your maintenance. So you need muscles and you need calories to grow them along with some weight training. So try that. If you have been stuck in a plateau, if you're not seeing muscle growth and you're not seeing fat loss, try shaking it up and see what happens. I'd love to see your comments below. Let me know if you've been stuck in a plateau, if you're stuck in a low caloric state, or what's happening with you. I'd love to hear the feedback. Comment below and let's hear it from you. So if you like that video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in the next